Sundial Growers, ticker symbol SNDL, was on an absolute tear earlier this year. We watched it go from around 60 cents per share all the way up to about $4 per share, and now it's finally pulled back and it's in the dollar range, trading at $1.16 per share. Now, I know the question on everybody's mind is, should we add SNDL to our portfolios? If you don't yet have Sundial Growers in your portfolio, should you add it? If you do have it in your portfolio, should you buy more SNDL? What's going on here? So if you're interested in Sundial Growers, make sure to watch the rest of this video, and let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay, and we're going to talk about Sundial Growers in this video like you haven't already noticed, right? Alright, so what's going on? One of the things that I really like about SNDL stock is the fact that it always makes the list of most actively traded stocks. It seems like you can go on there any time of day and you're going to see SNDL with hundreds of millions of shares traded. Now, this is awesome, right? Well, one of the things I want to point out is if you pull the graph out a little bit and you look at, let's just say you look at a 1-year graph of SNDL stock. What's one of the things you notice from like the beginning of February and the end of January? You can see the volume for SNDL is trending lower, okay? Now this is, I don't want to say this is good news or bad news necessarily, because look, yes, the volume is trending lower, but the price is trending lower as well. So we never want to see the price trending lower, right? We want to make money in the stock market. We want to see the price moving higher. But with less shares being traded, we can kind of expect the price to be trending lower. Now, if it was trending lower on higher volume and there was a lot of people selling off and getting out of this position and selling and selling and selling, I would consider that bad news, right? But since there's less people selling and less people trading this stock than there was just a month ago, it's, we should kind of expect to see the price trending lower as well. Now, I want to point out one of the reasons why I believe the volume and the price are trending lower at this point. It's because we know the industry that we're talking about here, right? There was a lot of hype surrounding the cannabis sector and all of these stocks. Once the new administration was elected here in the United States, a lot of people thought that we would really rapidly see legalization and the opening of the U.S. market for all of these companies to come in and take advantage of it, and they would really experience exponential growth. Well, Sundial Growers, along with all of the other stocks in this industry, haven't seen that happen yet. And look, I've done a couple other videos on it on this channel, and we know that laws move slow here in the United States, right? It seems like you want something to happen. If you want something to happen with the U.S. government, boom, it's going to take a while. And by a while, I mean years, right? So we know that that's the direction people are heading. So that's why the hype was there. And I don't want to say we got ahead of ourselves, but a lot of people thought that things would already be moving. They'd already be getting into place, and we're just not seeing it, right? So that's why a lot of the hype started to die down. And of course, there was a lot of mention of SNDL stock on the Wall Street Bets Reddit page and things like that. So there was a lot of hype surrounding that as well. But as the hype fades and as people, move on and start investing in other things, that volume starts moving lower and the price starts moving lower. And if you pull it out to a 1-year graph, you can see the volume was like flatlined on SNDL stock for quite a while. And then towards the beginning of 2021, we saw that stock shoot higher along with the volume. Trading was in the billions of shares. It was excellent. And now we're watching it fall back down again, right? So we want to know, is this something that we should be adding to our portfolios? If you don't have SNDL stock in your portfolio right now, should you be going out and buying Sundial Growers? Look, let's talk about a couple of good things about the company, and then we're going to talk about, maybe a couple setbacks or things like why you wouldn't want to invest in this company right now. Well, let's talk with that. Let's start with the latter first, okay? I never like to buy falling stocks. Okay, a lot of people think, yes, buy falling stocks. They're cheaper. SNDL stock is falling right now. You should be getting in, doubling down, dollar cost averaging, all of that good stuff. Well, look, if you're buying a falling stock, it's like catching a falling knife. Okay, you never know how far it's going to go until it hits bottom and then bounces back higher. So if you look at SNDL stock, what do we see? Yes, we do see some pretty good levels of resistance right here around the $1 to $1.10 mark. So that is a positive. If we see a bounce higher off this level, absolutely, we could add it to our portfolios. But if we fall through the dollar mark, we might see SNDL stock go all the way down to about 80 cents per share. Now, the 80 cent per share and the $1.10 per share mark are significant levels because of the warrants that were recently sold on these stocks that were at the 80 cent and $1.10 per share mark. So these are definitely levels that you want to check out for Sundial growers and use them as levels of support and resistance. Now, we know that the new warrants that were sold on them were at $1.50 per share, so that could be a pretty good price target short term. But it's definitely something to consider if you're thinking about adding Sundial growers to your portfolio. If we fall back down through $1, you want to make sure that we find support somewhere around that 80 cent per share mark. Now, a couple things that I really like about the stock. They took advantage, and it's almost like a double-edged sword. You know, they diluted shares, yes, but they took advantage of the opportunity that they had when we saw Sundial growers go all the way up to around $4 per share. They were selling, new shares. They were raising money, raising capital, and they paid down all of their debts. And they actually went out and invested in other companies as well, essentially growing their business. So they really did the investor good by doing this, growing the business, and setting themselves up for the future. Now, why is that important? With zero debt, with investments in other companies, I don't want to say if the U.S. market opens up, because it's pretty much inevitable at this point. So when the U.S. market opens up, they've positioned themselves in an excellent way to take advantage of this opportunity. And look, people are going to start talking about it again. News happens in cycles, okay? It's this thing one day and then the next thing the next day, and people are going to start jumping back on board with this stock. So a couple things you want to look out for if you're not ready to add SNDL to your portfolio yet. What do you want to see? You want to see the price rising, okay? Whether it's bouncing off support or whatever that may be, watch for the price to start rising before you enter the position. Next, you want to see volume rising too. Right now, like I said, volume is falling. But if you've got the combination of rising volume and rising price, you're in an excellent position to really watch that stock rocket higher. Now, should you go out and bet the farm? No, don't do that. Always make sure that you diversify and you keep enough assets in your portfolio that you don't have to worry about losing everything on one trade. That would just be bad news. So guys, SNDL stock, it's got a lot of potential. I really like, not that it's fallen down, but I really like what they've redone or what they've done with the company since they were able to restructure their debt and all of that and invest in these other businesses and set themselves up for the future. So guys, let us know what you think about SNDL stock in the comments below. If you have it in your portfolio, if you think it's going to take off, and a lot of people find resistance at that $4.20 per share mark. Obviously, we know why, right? So what do you think about that as well? Do you think that this stock could bust new highs throughout the rest of this year? Is it going to stay a penny stock forever, or are we going to watch SNDL stock go all the way past $10? Like, what are your expectations? Because I've got some pretty high expectations for Sundial growers. And if you like the content on this channel, guys, don't forget to click that like button. If the subscribe button is still red, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, become a bro, and let's grow our portfolios together. And if you're brand new to investing or you're thinking about getting a different brokerage account, there's a link in the description below for Webull. It is super simple to set up your account, and you're going to get a couple free stocks along the way just for doing so. And if you want to share this video, it'll really help me out. I'd appreciate it. And I'll follow you guys back anywhere you share it. Make sure to tag me at ClayBro. So until the next time, guys, I hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.